kickoff, if it gets that far, the Eagles have 10 men up anticipating an onside kick now by Miami with 2:12 to go.
I think when you're down by 10, I don't think you go for the onside now. I think you have to go and try and kick the ball deep. Of course, they're going to kick the onside, though. Look at this. They're sending the whole group over to the left. This is a trick.
There's the onside. All of that is bouncing right into the arms of the Eagles. They take over. Final night of preseason around the National Football League. Let's check in again with what's happening. Chicago hands the Raiders another loss. Tampa Bay knocked off Cleveland Buccaneers. It looked good this summer. Denver leading Indianapolis in the fourth. Pittsburgh defeated the Giants. Dallas still leads over Houston by 6. And the Rams lead Detroit 24-14.
Do they still have that Governor's Trophy thing down in Dallas and Houston? They used to have it called the Governor's Cup. They could never find the cup.
They finally found it about 2 years ago. It disappeared in the mid-70s. And it was found in a former Oiler executive's office somewhere in Houston after being absent for about 12 years. We're at the 2-minute warning after Mark Hicks makes the carry. Eagles lead it by a count of 20-10.
By signing up now in the Army's delayed entry program, any skill training I choose is mine when I graduate.
Men listen because they know I'm making sense. After all, I'm a doctor.
Only your doctor has treatment programs that work. So see your doctor or call this toll-free number.
Final 2 minutes from Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, where the Eagles used those 2 pass interception returns for touchdown in the third quarter to jump out to a 17-3 lead. They lead by 10 right now. That's not necessarily a pleasant sight at midnight, but that is. So there's the good news, bad news circumstance here in Miami. 2 minutes to go. 20-10. Randall Cunningham still at quarterback. Mark Hicks. And time has been called. Here's the way it's going to wind up in the NFC East. Of course, Dallas still playing, but Washington and Philadelphia will finish with 4-1 records. The Giants at 3-1. Dallas might go to 3-1 if they can hang on against Houston tonight, and Phoenix winds up at 1-3.
I wouldn't be surprised if that division ends up something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think this one will end up like this.
Green Bay, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay, all with 3-1 marks. Chicago goes into the regular season with 2-2, and Detroit winless at preseason. And out west, the Rams 4-1, the 49ers 3-2, New Orleans and Atlanta at 1-3.
And that division could end up that way.
Yeah.
And this one could end up like this.
Seattle, and of course Denver is playing Indianapolis right now, so we don't have a final there. Denver is leading by 3 in the fourth quarter. San Diego finishes at 2-2, Kansas City at 1-3, and the Raiders 0-4. Central Division. Houston is losing to Dallas right now, so we don't have a final up. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati finish 2-2. And the Colts might lose their first tonight. They're trailing Denver in the second half, as we said. Miami,
You see Buffalo 1-4, and they're supposed to be one of the best teams in the AFC.
There's a sack for E.J. Jr. $200,000 signing bonus for Jr. to come to Miami, and he has been nicked, as Don Shula said, all summer. He's been injured and hasn't been able to contribute much.
Well, he hasn't. I think he came in and he was a little overweight, and he had to lose some weight, get down, and really didn't show the things that they wanted him to. And this could be his last night to show it. I don't know if you make the team on a play like that, but I know that they've been waiting all summer for E.J. Jr. to do something.
It will be 4th down now. Update you on another score preseason. It's now 21-20. Houston has come from a 13-point deficit. They lead it over the Cowboys now with 9:02 to go.
I've learned in life that guys will fight for a cup.
The Governor's Cup.
Yeah, right down to the wire. I mean, they go all the way for that Governor's Cup.
Here's the punt by John Telchik. You think the Oilers are really pumped for the Cup, huh? The Governor's Cup. Got to get it back. Bring it back. Scott Schwades as you look at a list of some of those who have been so helpful here in Miami. You know, I was present in the Astrodome when they first started that thing, and they had the governor of Texas at the time was a guy named Preston Smith, Lubbock. And Dallas is playing Houston in the Governor's Cup. And the governor was not the most popular guy in the state. And they introduced him before the game to present the Governor's Cup. Well, he got booed by 53,000 in the Astrodome. That was the year that the cup disappeared.
Yeah, well, politicians should learn not to be introduced at sporting events, especially fights. Some of them have never learned that. But you never want to be introduced at a sporting event.
Causes the cup to disappear.
I know it.
Couldn't find it.
All those guys that just went by were the guys that have been here. Most of them done such an outstanding job. And always a pleasure to be with and to work with those guys.
Ron Davenport. To the right-hand side. That'll be a second down. 1:24 to go in the ball game. Well, even if they don't win the Governor's Cup of the state of Texas, John and I are going to be with the Cowboys in New Orleans next week. The ball, Glover drops one.
The other thing I do like about Scott Seekuse is he does have velocity on his ball. I mean he shoots that thing out there, and it doesn't spend a lot of time in the air. And he doesn't, have the gun that some of them have, but his gun isn't bad. And those numbers aren't bad.
7 of 11 for 72 yards.
But I think he's the guy, if he is a backup, that you have a different type of game plan for him.
3rd and 1. Incomplete. Intended for Ron Davenport. Now in his 27th year, Don Shula. He said something interesting. You and he were chatting, and I know you go back so long, John, about how the change at Miami. You said something about when you used to get film from him, the defensive reel was always so small.
That's why you'd always tell a well-coached team, because they had these little defensive reels. Their offense had the ball all the time. Their defense didn't have many. This guy here is a top coach, and he's a top man. And I always, as a coach, when I played against him, I always had more respect for Don Shula than anyone in the game. And I do to this day, not only as a guy on the sideline, but off the field as well. This guy, believe me, Vern, is top.
Here's Seekuse back. Incomplete across the middle, tipped away by Underwater. John, I find such an irony when you talk about Don Shula. For years, also the last 6 years, in quiet moments, Tex Schramm, the general manager of the Cowboys, would ponder what he would do when and if Tom Landry retired. The one man he wanted was Don Shula, and he didn't know whether he could ever get him and convince him to come from Miami to Dallas if that opportunity presented itself. But what an irony now. Landry's gone, Schramm is gone, the Cowboys have been sold, Don Shula's in Miami, but his son is in Dallas as the offensive coordinator.
I know, you bring up Tex Schramm, Tom Landry, and then Pete Rozelle retiring. The NFL has really lost a lot of people that have been an important part of that league for years.
The Eagles will run out the clock. That Indianapolis-Denver game had a 1 minute time remaining to it. 1 minute remaining in that one, and we are under a minute here with 55 seconds to go. So
this is the last of the preseason, and it's always the toughest time for a coach, because you're all done with the practice. You're all done with the rehearsals, and now you have to cut your team down between now and Monday. And some of those, some of the rookies are a little easier, but the tough ones are the veterans, the guys that have been with you for a long time.
Final play of the game. Cunningham goes the distance, and the Eagles wind up with a 4-1 record. And for the first time in his years here in Miami, and the first time ever as a coach, Don Shula's teams winless in preseason. As the Dolphins fall to 0-4, Buddy Ryan has things going his way with Philadelphia as they win it by a count of 20-10. For John Madden and Irv Cross, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Miami, where our final score, the Eagles 20 and the Miami Dolphins 10. Be with us tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern and 11:30 on the West Coast